All right, all right. I hope everybody can hear me. Um, yeah, just checking out a few settings here today. Uh, Today is a big day, y'all. Today is a big day. It's a huge day because today is the day we're going to find out a few things. If that issue with the bond is going to be um, put to rest and finished, I believe the lawyer said at 3 o'clock. Sometime is set today. I don't know if it's 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I don't remember, but the lawyer said it yesterday in his press briefing that they would revisit that matter again today, although the judge had already said no bail. They had already made a decision that there wouldn't be any bail and that he would be reprimanded until his trial. Um, yeah, now that's what the judge said. So they may revisit that today, and you might have another situation going on. Puff Daddy is said to, what's up, Donnie? Yeah, Puffy has said to have offered $50 million for bail. Yo, okay, $50 million is a substantial amount of money for bail. That's 5 million, I guess you would get, or do you have to put it all up in cash? I don't know. I don't know what the rules are for the feds on that one, on bail money, what percentage they take. Unfortunately, that's I'm gonna look into that, but nonetheless, it's a substantial amount of money, 50,000, 5 million. And I myself uh, wonder or believe that it's the right thing to keep him reprimanded, this type of person. Um, he has shown no ability um, to like rein himself in alone. You see what I mean? And so why would you just assume that a person would be fine if you release them? Now, part of the court's responsibility is to make sure you get through this trial. And Puffy is a drug addict, from what's known of him. And so if you release him, you're likely going to be releasing him to all of his you know partakings, particularly drugs and alcohol, which is not a good way to protect anybody from harm, right? If you know they're a drug addict, it's not actually, and they got loads of money, releasing them to just a place where they can encounter some of the same people they've been involved with, where they're left alone to their own devices. It could be, in this case, a bad decision. Now, I think for that reason, the judge is quite clever. And also, in terms of making sure that the victims get justice. And then think about it like this: how, if you release him, then obviously more like him, you would have to follow the same guidelines, right? The same expectations would be desired by others that commit similar acts in the music industry, right? And so where should the president fall? um and these people are rich. You're dealing with persons that have had every opportunity to get to know the world and get to know people around the world because of their money. So, yeah, I'm cool with P. Diddy sitting in there. Now, the question today, before I get into it, the question today is, will Puff Daddy snitch? Will he snitch to save himself? And so we're going to review that. And then we're going to review the details of it. What you think the outcome would be? Could he snitch on, somebody close to him? Could he snitch on many people? How many? How, was is the reprimanding him to jail right now until the trial? Does that play into it also? Is that part of the idea that if he sits his ass behind bars for a few days or weeks, you might start thinking about how he can resolve this case? Um, because so far there hasn't been a innocent plea put in. I mean, I guess he's presumed innocent, but he's got a little bit of time to change that. if there's even a plea agreement offered to him. He might be waiting for that. Uh, I'm sure he might be thinking, even if they don't know if he's going to take it. I'm sure he'd be gladly awaiting a guilty plea or a plea that he could take that would lessen the time. Because right now, homeboy is looking at, if he gets charged, I think with any one of those three major ones, he's looking at 15 years minimum. Right now, the charges look like he's facing 15 years to life, flat out, if he gets convicted on one of those major felony charges. So, and he's got like three main felonies, I believe. So, it's not looking that good for Sean Puffy Combs. Now, let me show you what I got from yesterday. This is his sons actually entering the courtroom yesterday. Check this out right here. So they were all present, at the hearing yesterday. They all attended. This is them walking in early. As you could see, what is this? What's this guy? Quincy. This is Quincy, right? Then there's Justin, I believe, right here to the right. Um, and then there obviously must be a couple of more. Let me see here. Who's in the back? I believe that's his. Is this his second to eldest son in the back? Uh, with the fro looking thing on. Let me see something real quick. All right, let's see here. Yeah, that looks like him. What's his name? Justin? I don't know if that's his name, Justin, right? But that's them entering the court yesterday. Now, now, right now, the courtrooms and the cameras, they should be setting up. It's 10 minutes to 9. The court opens officially at 9. I'm going to try to find some live playback. I'm sure that's coming soon, but until then, let me see here. Let's see what we
Urging in
got.
the federal case against Sean Diddy Combs, the music mogul being held without bail after pleading not guilty to a host of charges, including sex trafficking and racketeering. We do have complete coverage. We're going to start with NBC's Chloe Malas. Hey, Chloe, good morning.
Hey there, good morning. Sean Combs is behind bars after a federal judge denied the music producer's request to post a $50 million bail. The judge siding with prosecutors who argued that Combs is dangerous and poses an ongoing threat to the community. And authorities say additional charges have not been ruled out. But we do have to warn you, some of the details here are disturbing.
Federal prosecutor Sean Diddy Combs used his power and business empire to carry out a long and shocking list of crimes for years, from sex trafficking and forced labor to kidnapping, bribery, and obstruction of justice.
Between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct.
Combs greeting fans in New York a day before his arrest and 6 months after federal authorities raided his homes in LA and Miami. In a 14-page indictment, prosecutors say agents found multiple firearms during those raids, including 3 defaced AR-15 rifles. They also uncovered videos of elaborately produced sex performances with multiple victims that Combs allegedly referred to as freak-offs.
The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
While searching Combs' residences in March, according to the indictment, law enforcement seized narcotics and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. Combs has pleaded not guilty to all of the charges. Overnight, his attorney saying he doesn't believe Combs will take a plea deal.
I do not see it happening. He's in.
What? I mean, he's got how many bottles of, what did they call that? Baby oil did they confiscate? I mean, that is just incredible. That is, what did they say? 1,000 bottles of baby oil? I mean, yeah, yeah.
Innocent, and he is going to go to trial, and I believe he's going to win.
The criminal charges follow a string of civil lawsuits, including a settlement with Combs's longtime girlfriend, singer Cassie. She can be seen in this 2016 surveillance video, being thrown to the ground and physically attacked by Combs. Prosecutors say Cassie was attempting to escape from one of Combs's freak-offs. Combs later apologizing for his actions caught on video. His attorney arguing Diddy's toxic relationship with Cassie was consensual.
This was a 10-year relationship.
You know, of course, you have to give off the feeling that you're going to fight this with all your might, that you're going to stick in there until it's all finished. You're going to clear your name. Of course, you have to approach it like that, even if what you're seeking is anything in between clearing your name and seeing the light of day ever again, and not losing simply every single thing you have that you planned on even passing down to your kids. I mean, this is going to get ugly because the human rights of people and their civil rights in these kind of civil and criminal cases today, it is very difficult to run from when you have this much evidence of your own participation. Um, how will he be able to show he of all people is just simply innocent, right? Um, Versus, because that's what he has to prove. He's just simply innocent of the charges. And then the court is going to be out to prove how he's guilty. And when they are out to prove how he's guilty, they're going to be showing him beating Casey, beating her in the hallway of a hotel. And at no point was she in control of that situation. That was all Sean Puffy Combs. Um, since when does a employee say, "Oh yeah, I bought all this stuff on my boss's credit card at my own desire. I was not ordered by him to pay for this." How are you going to say as an employee you didn't facilitate a task for your boss? How is that possible? There's so many people that the feds would have talked to corroborate anything that they brought to the court so far. It's it's just looking like a joke for a lawyer to get up there and say, "Yeah, we're going to fight this all the way." Yeah, yeah, sure. You're going to fight this all the way. But if you lose, you will never see the light of day. Or if you lose, you're going to spend minimum 15 years behind bars. Are you going to do every day of that charge in a federal court? I believe so. It's not like the state. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that federal stuff is every day you have to do before you're released. It's not like the state when you're guilty, early parole, all this other stuff, right? So yeah, it's different. It's how they, put the charges together between the state, or if you might have other charges from New York State coming later at another point. But in any case, I don't see uh Diddy fighting much past trying to secure a future financially for his kids and a future for himself if he makes it out alive of prison. Keep that in mind. Yeah, so is Diddy going to snitch? I think he has every motive to snitch. Um, why would he snitch? To make sure after 15 years, maybe he can come out and enjoy a little bit of life if he cooperates fully. But the next question now is, so who would he snitch on? Would he snitch on everyone? Because obviously the courts tell you you have to tell them everything or nothing. No deal. That means every single thing. Well, do you think the music industry is full of different types of people that don't run the same type of charade? I mean, what 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 music company, what major music company do you think this kind of behavior is unique to or new to? I mean, where do you think Puff Daddy learned these things from? Um, did he just get that way by his own invention? Or was he mentored? did he learn this from other record execs, other record executives that have been heard to have been, alleged to do similar types of acts to people? And who are their partners? Who was aware of those acts? Is this just extortion game to the max that Puffy was running? Um, and is extortion in the music industry, is that normalized, or is this like just a Sean Puffy Combs, New York City, not even New York City, just Sean Puffy Combs? I mean, I don't want to say no names, but let's just say, is this not a Def Jam thing too? Is this not a Arista Records thing too? A Whitney Houston thing? Is this not a Universal Music thing too? Or is this just a Sean Puffy Combs thing? Now, in regards to snitching, I mean, I'm thinking birds of a feather flock together. These New York executives all hop from one company to another, and they all know each other's personal business dealings. I would suspect that would be the case because they help each other succeed. Even though they work in different companies, they do lend each other a helping hand. Yes, it's not like, um, you working for the competitor, and McDonald's employees can't fraternize with the Burger King employees. No, often what's happening in these companies is a person might work a couple of years in one company, then they work a couple of years in the next. And that goes all the way up through promotion, through the executives, through the CEOs, through the A&Rs, all of that stuff. So you got the OGs with a lot of money, and you have their underlings, and it doesn't even matter what company you're talking about. It's the same damn underlings, damn near, like straight up. They're all aware of each other. They're all in the same ecosystem, is essentially what I'm saying. So I don't see how Puffy's going to evade the feds. I don't see how money is going to buy your way out of a Fed case. I just don't see it. And if the judge or the prosecutor would go outside of their way to conduct business different from any way that they would do anybody, I would find that really strange because of course, they have careers to think about. So they're going to take it slow and detailed approach to every single thing they're going to think through. So I think Puffy's lawyer is just confident. He gets paid to be confident. He might have every intention. He may see the things the way he says them, but that don't mean the rest of us can't use our brains.
There's no
So here we go.
coercion. There's no crime.
With three of Diddy's sons and other family members in court to support him, the 54-year-old
10-year relationship. There's no coercion.
apologizing for his actions caught on video. His attorney arguing
Right. Now he apologized for his actions seen on video. This is regarding the beat down on the hotel camera footage of Cassie. But he only apologized after the video got leaked. He had done that long before and he had never apologized before. So, you know, what kind of apology is that? Is that an admittance of guilt, of wrongdoing? Is that an admittance that he even sees what he did was absolutely, unquestionably wrong? Or is it just something else going on here? How can the court use that information? How will it use that information? Likely. How would it most likely use that information? It's not looking good for his defense. I doubt any defense lawyer would say, "Hey, y'all, pull out that Cassie tape. This is going to work good in my client's defense." I doubt that.
toxic relationship with Cassie was consensual.
This was a 10-year relationship. There's no
Yeah, it was consensual. It was consensual because, hey, that was his girlfriend, right? I mean, I even think for the lawyer to even make that kind of claim, you have to be very, very desperate. very desperate to just say, oh, it was consensual. This lady likes getting her ass beat up and down this hallway. If that ain't a failing approach, to me, that's just admitting guilt. Why would his attorney even offer that? Why would he even offer that opinion? Is that necessary to offer to the public? So you can see it's about the public. The court can't use that information at all. It is not a good thing for a court to have that logic presented to them. But the public, there's still some public that he needs to protect to possibly save his ass a little bit. And it seems like that's what it's coming down to, like the last days. Squeeze whatever you can out of this fruit and turn the page. It looks like that's what's happening. Yeah. Now, I could be dead wrong. And hey, if I am, what the heck? That's no big deal because it's not my ass on the line. It's not my life on the line. I don't need to be correct here. It's just my opinion. But let me play some more.
There's no crime.
With 3 of Diddy's sons and other family members in court to support him, the 54-year-old appeared solemn as prosecutors argued against bail, saying he has a history of witness tampering, threats, and physical violence.
Combs's attorneys say that they are appealing the decision to deny bail, while federal prosecutors say that the investigation is ongoing and they're leaving the door open for even more arrests. Savannah?
All right, Chloe, thank you. Let's turn to NBC senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett, who's with me here. So
They are leaving the door open for more arrest. Now you see how clear that message was put out. It's not a biased message. They just letting you know what could be coming in case you are a person concealing information, in case you are a person that witnessed crimes and has not chosen to volunteer that information to the federal prosecutors. They're just reminding that very public that his defense lawyer was talking to, yeah, it's just a willing participant. Yeah, they're just two lovers in a quarrel. It's their relationship. That kind of information was offered to the public, right? For some reason, whoever the public was listening to, was it his backers listening? Is it his business people he does business with that's listening? Who's listening to that message? Or the silly ass public that just believes that that's going to work in a court? No, it's some specific people he's talking to, that defense lawyer. And the prosecutor offered their statement to those same people. And that statement was they could be locking up some more people too. That was their message. That's not a message of they're having a happy relationship. It's not they're having a sad relationship. It's not she was a willing participant. It's not she's an unwilling participant. They haven't gotten that far. They just saying they could be locking up some more people. Just a fact. You figure out if that's good or bad. We're just going to let you know we locking him up. Some more folks like him, people that know. That's a scary statement.
hearing was before a magistrate judge. All right, Chloe, thank you. Let's turn to NBC senior legal correspondent Laura Jarrett, who's with me here. So let's talk about the bail hearing. It was before a magistrate judge, but now we'll go before the federal district judge who will preside over the entire case. What do you expect today?
I think he's unlikely to get out, and that's because there is a presumption of keeping him there in detention. There are statutory reasons, dangerousness, obstruction of justice, risk of flight. They say, look, he has limitless funds. He can hop on his plane. He can go anywhere in the world. The defense says, look, he gave up his passport. He came to New York willingly. But then in court there, the prosecutor said even in his hotel room when he was arrested, they found drugs. Now, he hasn't been charged with that, but it just shows you, I think, that there are sort of a stew of issues going on here. And it's going to be hard for him, I think, to overcome that presumption today.
Well, prosecutors really laid it, not just in the indictment, but then submitted, and we saw it publicly, this bail memo that really lays out some of the
more details,
evidence, alleged evidence against Sean Puffy Combs. And so What did you glean from that? I mean, are we talking about multiple victims potentially? And it sure seemed like there are employees or people associated with Sean Combs who are ready to testify against
that
him.
detention memo says that they talked to over 50 witnesses and or victims. Now, we don't know how many people will testify at trial. We don't know exactly how many acts those coordinate with, but it does give you a sense of the scope. They obviously got their hands on not only the drugs and all the weapons, but they have other cooperators, at least as it appears to that indictment, because they're talking about the business enterprise, knowing a lot about how the business works. So we'll see what comes out of it today, but I think it's pretty clear that they have a mountain of evidence. Obviously, he, though, maintains his innocence.
Okay, Laura, thank you very much.
And that court is not going to overlook that mountain of evidence. They're going to take all that violent evidence and all that corroborating evidence from different witnesses, all corroborating violent, abusive acts. They're going to take all those testimonies very seriously before they're ever going to let him see the light of day. And that means bond. They got to look at all of that when determining bond. And I don't see why I would want to be a judge and be the one to do that, to be like, oh yeah, we're going to look at all this evidence. This we heard the depositions, we heard the indictment charges, what was in the hearings that came to the indictment. We've read all of the testimony so far. We've heard from the prosecutors, their claims. They've proven that they have a certain amount of witnesses that say this, and this. They don't reveal everything, but the core things. I don't see why any judge would be like, what the hell? Let him out. Let's see. Let's find out if he survives. Because the next thing, if they let you out, right, then that changes. Then you all of a sudden you're going to want to delay the trial. Then your defense is going to move to delay, 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 like Trump. So it's only people that are locked down that generally want to get this shit out the way. You see what I mean? Once Puffy is free, if they released him on bond, you could almost be 100% absolutely sure that is opposite of what he said. He said he's looking forward to clearing his name. This is the moment he's been looking for. No, 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 no. He's looking to delay a conviction to as long as possible. Technicalities, witness tampering, threatening, anything, any type of thing. That's what a free man would be doing facing these kind of charges. You would be looking to make yourself a little safer. So you could circumvent all of that as a judge is just say, okay, well, leave his ass in bars. If he was in a hurry to clear his name before, he'll be in double hurry to clear his name now. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Donnie? Yo, let me see here. VB, do you think the timing of this is kind of crazy with the election going on? I used to think funny things like that. I mean, the timing is obviously not something anybody would normally want, but unless you're associated with it, it shouldn't have anything to do with it. So I think maybe there's a theory out there that people will say possibly like, they will come up with these ideas like, yeah, this is to, make people not pay attention to the election. I just think it's just foul shit, the foul stuff being exposed. And it's always inconvenient at an inconvenient time. And I think there's a lot more bad things that people, if they knew about, it would distract them from, paying close attention to some of the politics. But I don't see that as an issue, man. There's plenty of time to settle this election thing about who the next governors and the president is going to be, and whoever's up for election this year in the federal elections. I'm pretty sure people still got plenty of time to decide. get the information. I just think this is a little side note for 2024. One more big thing that's going to happen. That's how I look at it, bro. But hey, I'll leave that up to everybody else. I mean, what do you think? Do you think there's a conspiracy out there that connects with Puffy? Any kind of conspiracy? I mean, I tell you one thing. I think that will just be the way it is, and I would like to be convinced of it being different, even though I might not be. But it's just an idea that you know there's more than just Puffy out there doing this stuff, and somebody gonna have to take the fall. Now that conspiracy, I might be obliged to believe in that is somebody gonna have to take the fall. Somebody gonna have to fall on their cross this time to save others. And I think right about now, that's exactly what Puffy's thinking about. Who gonna hit the cross with him versus who is he just never gonna talk about at all? Who is he not gonna implicate? I think this is what 2024 comes down to ultimately with Puff Daddy. That type of thing. Just generally, a whole lot of people. I think it's going to be more people, but I think it's going to be some key people he ain't going to utter a word about. I mean, we know this behavior was not shunned for the last 30 years in the music industry. We know this behavior has been normalized because we've heard loads of people talking about it. Um, this is not new. It just took a long time to get charges against this guy because this is the music industry is a very secretive type of industry. It's a very ununionized type of industry, meaning almost anything goes. If you sign a paper, you sign the paper. I mean, you don't know what you're signing yourself over because it's ununionized. There's no standard contract that protects artist rights, musician rights right now going on. There's some contracts, there's some unions, but generally, when you're looking at artists, man, you're seeing all kinds of shady deals being done that if they were done in the light, people would be embarrassed. The companies would be embarrassed to talk to people day to day about these kind of contracts. And as you see, it's been like slavery for some people. Um, and trust me when I say this, it ain't just Puffy. He's just one of the people that benefited from these types of shady deals. Um, yeah, yeah, it's sad, but it is. I mean, you got people not even knowing who owns their own publishing. You got people not even knowing that publishing is something they're supposed to have. You got artists like that that's being totally cut out of publishing, or you know, you get most of the artists get hit pretty bad on their first contract, and the whole idea is that the people that invest own that, and they don't even give a damn if you have another successful record. It's like they don't take risks. They want their money back, and they want you to pay debt 10 times greater than a bank ever would get you to pay. And the banks ain't nice. You see what I mean? Like it's crazy as an artist right now. So yeah, that's my take. Now let me go see if there's some NYC court. Let me see here. P. Diddy. Let me see here. P. It's gotta be opening up. Where's the damn courtroom? P. Diddy. Let me see here. P. Diddy at Manhattan Court. It's funny how when you look on the net, all you see is these pictures of him having fun. Superstar rapper Sean Diddy Combs' son, Combs arrives. Okay, let me see what else here. Where is the courtroom? Let me see if I can go back here and find that channel. Let me flip through here. Doo-doo-doo-doo. I just want to find the court, see who's covering the outside of the court today, so we can watch who goes in, who entering, who else is going to show up, uh, and when that happens. I believe his okay, P P Diddy lawyer. Let me see what this is. It, CNN. Okay, Why is there so much ABC Reuters? AP, okay. Associated Press. That's what I wanted to find. AP. All right. So let me check out AP and see if they started they're alive. Let's see. They're gonna be looking at the courts. Okay. Okay, wait a second. Let's see what they came up with. This is also going to be a refresher here.
Sean Combs, the rapper and music mogul known as Puff.
Oh, let me change the settings. Sorry about that, y'all. I'm not on my desktop. I'm on a smaller loaner computer here. Here we go.
Sean Combs, the rapper and music mogul known as Puff Daddy and P. Diddy, was in a Manhattan courtroom on Tuesday pleading guilty to present day, in which he engaged in sex acts with women and also inflicted abuse on those women, essentially using his power and influence to control their lives. Now, Combs pleading not guilty, his lawyers arguing that all the allegations in this case really stem from a decade-long relationship that Combs had with a woman that was his girlfriend, a relationship that defense lawyers say was plagued by infidelity and that exploded in 2016. Prosecutors sought and the judge agreed to have Combs detained, put in jail while he awaits trial. Defense lawyers offered a bail package, putting up potentially Combs' estate in Miami, which they say is worth $48 million to secure his release. But the judge thought otherwise, saying that Combs could be a flight risk, that he has the means and wherewithal to get out of the jurisdiction, and that he's been accused multiple times of witness intimidation. Now, the defense is going to go to court, and they are going to ask another judge to grant bail. They are unhappy with that decision, which, as of this moment, puts Sean Combs behind bars.
Yep.
If you're a content creator
of
any kind, you need to check out Motion Array. My name is Paul.
Yeah, let me see something. That playback is not that great right now. 2 seconds, y'all. I'm gonna just make a small adjustment here. 2 seconds. Alrighty. Yeah. Let me see here. I think that did it. I just had to plug in the landline instead of using the Wi-Fi. Let me see if that helps out. 2 seconds here.
More, let's bring in our CBS News. Ricky Kleeman joins us now at the table. Let's start with the fact that they denied bail. Ricky, what message, if any, does that send? And I understand they're going back to court today in an effort to get bail.
They can go back to court today, tomorrow, next year, all the way up to and including the time of trial. The message that it sends is that you have two things happening here. One is dangerousness and one is risk of flight. And when it came to dangerousness, when you've got a prosecutor who says you've got a serial abuser, and at the opposite end of that pole is you have a serial corrupter. So you have someone who not only has the opportunity, if he's waiting a long time for trial, to continue to abuse, with the allegations in this case, kicking, choking, dragging, drugging, and you have the continued opportunity to try to intimidate witnesses and affect the legal process so that they won't testify against him.
Yeah,
So
his
the government
attorney is
has a
saying-
good argument.
But his attorney is saying, is denying and says that Sean Combs will clear his name. And he seems to imply that many of these acts were consensual.
Well, the defense has to have some defense. And it seems to me that the only possible defense, when you have a vast amount of electronic surveillance, the prosecutor outlined here, you have videos of these free shows. You have these hard drives in the computer. You have cell phones, plus over 50, 60 witnesses. So how do you deal with that? It's not like you can say it didn't happen.
Right.
So you have to say that it was consensual and everyone was involved in perhaps what we might consider bizarre sex, but they wanted to be there, which flies in the face of drugging people in order to have these sex parties and then give them IVs to bring them out and hide them for weeks so that no one could see how bruised they were.
All that's in the indictment.
It's just wild. I mean, it sounds like you think it's a pretty strong indictment.
The prosecutor was extraordinary in the delineation of the types of crimes and evidence. You've got a racketeering charge here, life in prison, where the enterprise is his entire business. And you have enablers, you have sisters, you have employees. So this may not be over yet. You have other people who
Could there be a ripple
indicted.
effect of many more?
Yeah, there could be a ripple effect of one of two things. They're either going to be conspirators, co-conspirators, and indicted, or they're going to cooperate. And they got a lot of incentive to cooperate here.
Wow, what a case. Wow. Ricky Kleeman, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
You know, one other thing to be aware of in terms of this case here with Puffy is that when his attorney came out also and mentioned that, let me take this off.
Here in New York, a judge has ruled music mogul.
Yeah, there we go. The judge, hey Andre, how you doing? Yeah, and love me fruit. I see you. I see you. Yeah, now when his defense lawyer came out and made that statement yesterday, I said earlier, who is he speaking to? He's speaking to the public also, obviously. Those are public statements to try to keep whatever empathy people have for him left in the public, his business ventures or anything, to maintain that innocent, pristine image, because it's not something that's going to work with the court, obviously, right? But the other interesting problem here is that Puffy is an entertainment mogul, so he understands the press. So he even has been, working the press. I'm talking about the hip hop press. He's been working them for years. I mean, that's why you see these kind of stories pop up here and there that kind of go in a funny direction from small independent outlets because maybe he's got the ability to grease some palms and to spread that little message that his lawyer made to the public, to spread it even further, and maybe even use some of these smaller media outlets to threaten the accusers, threaten the witnesses, and in fact, I don't know if it's if it's this case with Sean Puffy Combs or if it's another music mogul that they've been charged with doing similar things. Like maybe I think some people have alleged Russell Simmons used some private small hip hop outlets to kind of carve their public story about some of the things he was alleged to have done. And so you got to understand that plays into it also. Whatever it is he's doing right now is 100% strategic. It's the few strategic moves that he can make that he got left before it's totally, totally on. Like before he makes his final decision, he's going to see what he can tinker with a little bit if there's some wiggling room. And if there's not any wiggling room, like which I doubt there will be because things don't work for you forever, the same tricks. Um, you know, I suspect again, and I'm going to ask y'all, the public, do you think he's going to snitch? And if so, who do you think he would implicate? Look, there's all kinds of conspiracies out there already. There's people that's been saying for months, Jay-Z is next. Jay-Z is next. I'm going to say it. I don't know if that makes sense. He's obviously a business partner of his. It would be a shame if he is involved or anybody else. This matter is 100% nothing but shameful. It cast a shadow of shame over 20, 30-year legacy of multiple individuals. You know, I mean, his story, if you want to go by what is said in the media, there's people saying he got something to do with Tupac's murder. There's people that have been describing bad behavior or a dislike of this guy for a long time from so many different directions. I mean, where do you start? But in any case, do you think he would snitch? And if so, who do you think he would snitch on? Russell Simmons? Is he a protege of Russell Simmons? I mean, Russell Simmons is also he's been alleged, and Russell Simmons is not a joke in the music industry. He is like, uh, in terms of hip hop, what you know of hip hop, what people have come to coin as hip hop, Russell Simmons is probably the most instrumental figure in that business, and in the arise of those types of businesses, management, black music management, black music productions, um, black music, hip hop music. Let's say hip hop music. Actually, I should say that that's more proper. Hip hop rap music. He's the guy that connected the pieces. And I'm not trying, I give him credit for that. That's about his work ethic. But his things, the personal things he's been accused of are similar and ugly. And he's not the only one. So do you think the government would want to know if other people like Jay-Z or Russell Simmons knew anything, and if what did they know, or who else? Do you think they would be interested in things like that from Sean Combs, and what would that get him? Those are the questions I'm asking. I like to be one step ahead, not go too far ahead, but one step ahead, and yeah, just to get to the next story, because this ain't the only story. Um, I actually, in some way, had to chill out on doing some of these entertainment stories, because I have done some. I would encourage people to go back and look at them and just try to listen to some of the questions I'm asking about some of these other figures and some of their entanglements, right? Listen to some of those podcasts, or those streams, and let me know what you think about those two, and try to see if there's something I said back then, a year ago, 6 months ago, that is kind of coming to light now. You see what I mean? Like, I think the man is going to try whatever. That's just my bet on it. He's going to try anything and everything. And if throwing many people under the bus solves that problem, why wouldn't he do it? That's how I see it. Why wouldn't he do it? From based on what we know. I mean, it's almost obvious, right? But yeah, we have to let it play out. Now let me go back. I still haven't found this live stream. Where the heck is the? Uh, I'm a little slow on it today. I'm off from work, y'all. So I'm just now being able to check in. But let me see this. There must be some more news coming in. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Lately, the politics is what I've been on. And it is kind of weird that the entertainment stuff does pop up. What I've noticed right now, while I look for this, for the live stream for the courts, what I've noticed is that in that realm, there's that realm with maybe young people, where they listen, they're focused on entertainers, not always focused on the politics. Um, and that I would say is not a good thing, right? So that's why I slowed down covering these types of stories. But nonetheless, they are important stories because this is another disaster zone, essentially. It's just that I don't mind pivoting to the political stories, or the election, stories about what's going on with Trump or what's going on with Kamala Harris. I don't mind discussing that since it's the election cycle was here, you know. But Sean Puffy Combs' case is a good opportunity to kind of look back at the entertainment industry and see how the federal government is going to do. What is the federal government going to do about this? I mean, the music industry seems like it has gone through an extreme stage of lawlessness, like where anything goes. They're just writing all the rules, and thus a lot of exploitation coming out of it. No regulations, not enough regulations, not enough rules, and this kind of stuff. But let me see here. Da, 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 da. I've been getting a lot of comments um, from Trump supporters, but or everywhere every day I'm getting loads of comments, maybe 20 or 30 comments from Trump supporters, and it seems like a lot of it is bots, fake profiles. About easily off the top 50% is about profiles that are just a year old, period. 2 years old. You know. It's maybe 20% that have like profiles that are 6 years or older, right? Um, Everything else is, most is brand new profiles. So when I look at the comments and I read the comments, I'm also thinking about that, like who wrote this? And then I look at when their profile was made, and I'm like, oh, this sounds like the same person who wrote the last message like this. But yeah. So you never know. I encourage people when they come on YouTube, try to let people know you're a real person. Like try to let them know something about you. Don't hide, you know. Like just because it means something. It means something. Folks don't want to spend their time promoting um unidentifiable, computer user IDs and shit, over the net. Even if it is a real person, I want to see who the person is. I want to know a little bit something before I really uh really value your input. I hate to say it, but it's that way. Most of the people I talk to over here, we all know we're real people. So anybody that's a real person, you also welcome to hop up on the panel and speak your mind too, because I don't want to have people anymore that's not trying to identify themselves popping up. Uh yeah, we don't have time for that. We need people that are serious about what they say, and put their life behind what they say, not just hide behind a keyboard, but let me see here. Where is this? AP News Court. Let me see here. Right. And what do y'all think about Trump's assassination? While I'm here searching for this stream. What do y'all think about that? Is Trump is he gonna make it? Yo, is Trump going to make it to the election? And I'm sorry, but Trump doesn't care about anybody else's life. It's people's lives he's destroying right now, and he don't give a damn. So I'm just laughing because I'm like, hey, I wouldn't want it to happen, but I'm like, damn, is he going to make it? Because apparently there's a lot of people that don't like Trump. There's a lot of people that do not like Donald Trump. It's crazy. There's a lot of people that don't like him right now. I wonder why that could be. I wonder. Yeah, a lot of people don't like that guy. Well, that video you played said the guy left off shots. Are you talking about Donald Trump? You talking about the video where the guy tried to bust a cap in him? Um, well, to me, I think the FBI should take everything, use the same methodology, examine every single detail, leave no leave no stone unturned. You see, period. Because of course there's weird people out there that would take a shot at the president after they listen to too much YouTube or listen to too much news in general. Um, there's always going to be people like that. So you can't really form your campaign or plan about that around that kind of randomness. It's going to happen, and you just plan for it. That's always a possibility. But you also got to look at all the details because now that there's been two attempts, there's still not that many answers totally about it, and it could just be the nature of that type of crime. But if you ask me, the two people that attempted to off him, they're not alike. They don't seem that much alike. Even though they're both pro MAGA or some of the ideals of MAGA, not pro MAGA, but pro gun, let's say that, right? I shouldn't say MAGA now because that's the most extreme, but they seem more like, you can't say they're not extremists because they picked up weapons and tried to harm the guy. Um, so based on their political ideology, essentially. So they're extremists, but they don't seem the same to me, if you ask me. One's a young kid who's 20, the other is an old man, 50 something, right? Damn near 60, right? Right? That's not the same. When you listen to some of the things they were writing, this guy seemed like he was there were a few good causes that I saw that he had, so that he shared. But I saw some bad ones too. Um, I didn't see so much of the young guys view outside of guns and yeah, that kind of stuff. So in any case, yeah. Let me know what you think about Trump too. Let me see here. You know what? It must be too. Is it too early in NYC? I thought the courts opened up already. Let me see here. AP. It's definitely going to pop up, and any new information is going to be viral, of course. Let me see. Should I go to the live? Live. Is this any lives? Alrighty. I think I got it now. Let me put this up. 2 seconds. Here we go. Oh, it's going to standby? Okay, no, this is not the right one. This is not yesterday. I don't know why they put that live up there. I'm sorry, y'all. That's my fault. You know what? They're not live on it. Let me check CNN right now and see if CNN is covering this also. Where's the live? Right. Live. Okay. Sky News. I know what I can do. All right. If I don't catch a link, then I'm gonna shut it down and then come back as soon as they start the live streaming from the court. Maybe it's prolonged or something. I don't understand. That's weird that they wouldn't already be on this outside of the court. It's 9:43 on the East Coast in Manhattan. So maybe there's some information already spreading, which changed this. How did Diddy's business? Okay. Uh, Back to the lives. Uh, is this the live? Nope.
Sex
From yesterday.
performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs's crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs's residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs's electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether. Here are some of the items that we recovered during the searches. As you can see here, this is a drum magazine, large capacity, and it contains, I believe, 59 rounds. I mentioned as well that we recovered 3 AR-15s. This is a close-up shot of one of the AR-15s, and you can see right here, the serial number has been thoroughly defaced. Another picture of more ammunition and parts of 2 AR-15s right there. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Second, we are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly. Anyone with information can call 1-877-4HSI-TIP. I want to express my deep appreciation for the victims and witnesses who have used their voices and helped bring this criminal conduct to light. We would not be here without them. I also want to thank the dedicated case agents on the HSI Trafficking in Person Squad in New York. They have been with us since day one and have worked tirelessly on this investigation. They will continue to be invaluable partners to us. I also want to thank the incredible agents and analysts from SDNY who have also provided tremendous assistance on this case. I'm deeply grateful for their continued work. And finally, I want to thank the outstanding career prosecutors from SDNY who are handling this case. Meredith Foster, Emily Johnson, Chrissy Slavic, Madison Smeisler, and Mitzi Steiner, and their supervisors, Jamie Backleiter and Jacqueline Kelly. They are members of the Civil Rights Unit in our criminal division. We created the Civil Rights Unit when I became U.S. Attorney. I'm deeply proud of their work on this and so many other cases. I'll now take some questions.
Racketeering, ABC.
Thanks, Damian, thanks. The indictment describes aggressive, open violent, hedonistic abuse that you say was recurrent and widely known. Why did it take law enforcement so long to intervene? How many women were victimized by Sean Combs and how many others were involved?
Look, our investigation is ongoing. We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the defendant. I can't tell you why it took so long. I think the better focus is on the fact that we are here today. And we are committed to making sure that justice is done.
What do you all think about that question right there? Let me just rewind that one a little bit.
To intervene, how many women were victimized by Sean Combs and how many others were involved?
Look, our investigation is ongoing. We are committed to bringing justice to everyone who's been victimized by the doubt our commitment on that. A year ago, Sean Combs stood in Times Square and was handed a key to New York City. Today, he's been indicted and will face justice in the Southern District of New York. Second, we are not done. This investigation is ongoing, and I encourage anyone with information about this case to come forward and to do it quickly. Anyone with information can call 1-877-4-HSI-TIP. I want to express my deep appreciation for the victims and witnesses who have used their voices and helped bring this criminal conduct to light. We would not be here without them. I also want to thank the dedicated case agents on the HSI Trafficking in Person Squad in New York. They have been with us since day one and have worked tirelessly on this investigation. They will continue to be invaluable partners to us. I also want to thank the incredible agents and analysts from SCNY who have also provided tremendous assistance on this case. I'm deeply grateful for their continued work. And finally, I want to thank the outstanding career prosecutors from SCNY who are handling this case. Meredith Foster, Emily Johnson, Chrissy Slavic, Madison Smizer, and Mitzi Steiner, and their supervisors, Jamie Backleiter and Jacqueline Kelly. They are members of the Civil Rights Unit in our criminal division. We created the Civil Rights Unit when I became U.S. Attorney. I'm deeply proud of their work on this and so many other cases. I'll now take some questions.
Racketeering, ABC.
All right.
Damian, thanks. The indictment describes aggressive, open, violent, hedonistic abuse that you say was recurrent and widely known. Why did it take law enforcement so long to intervene? How many women were victimized by?
Why did it take law enforcement so long to intervene? Yes, that is the question. What do y'all think? Why did it take law enforcement so long to intervene? Of course, that doesn't affect how this case is handled, but it is an interesting question for the public to just ponder over, why did it take it so long? If you had all these stories out there, what took it so long? But people have discussed this, and I think a lot of people just toss it aside, the notion that it's easy to talk about these things or that being in this situation is always easy for the person that's going through it, that they always recognize what's going on then and opposed to later. I think there's a chance of that in any case. I mean, right and wrong is one thing. Sure, people know wrong, but to really know the extent of the wrong that they're in, sometimes isn't always clear at the same time for everybody, But in any case, there is nothing running right now. Is it just me? My search engine is messed up. Yo, where is? Oh, okay. Let me take this off. Where is the live court at? This is yesterday's replay. Okay. But it did say live, so maybe they're just replaying yesterday and then going to cut right into the current thing. But I don't think that's how it works. It says it's live
They're
though, but this isn't live. This is obviously a
seeking
restream.
are in the detention letter. So for
Let me turn this down until it catches up. Yeah, but in any case, I'm gonna shut down for a second, maybe a half an hour, and I'm gonna see what else I can find. Um, yeah, and then I'm gonna put up a new stream for folks, cause yeah, I guess we all know that the court is not going to have. There's no hearing today, or no, there's a hearing, but there's no trial. So uh, there's a lot of things that have to happen before um, the trial can even begin, right? If there is going to be a trial. So it's going to take some time. But today, pretty much all people are going to know is the no bond staying. Is that going to be the case for him until whenever they want to take the matter up again? That's pretty much all people are going to find out. We might find out about some more charges. I don't know. I don't think so, but you never know. It is live and a work in progress. So yeah, I'm gonna get back to y'all soon. I appreciate you, everybody. Donnie, what's up? Thank you. And Andrea, of course, and Love Me Fruit. Yeah, and the gang and everybody else that checks out the restream. Yo, let me see here. Let me know also. Leave me a comment as soon as you hear something, and I'm gonna be right on it. Hopefully I'll be able to get to respond and start the stream. So appreciate it.